there, my name is Shana Stone, and today I'll be discussing a few tips and things to think about as you prepare to play Claude Debussy's famous piece for solo flute, Syrinx. It looks so hard on the page, right? If you think this, I promise you're not alone. But as you begin to read through this music for the first time and dive into practicing it in earnest, it is so important to practice with a metronome, playing the rhythms precisely as they are written. You see, Debussy was actually extremely clever in the way he wrote this music, such that it establishes patterns that you can recognize and latch onto, but at the same time it evokes a sense of freedom and improvisation with the rhythms that he used. If you're not sure what metronome marking to put your metronome on, I suggest listening to a variety of recordings on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever streaming platform you prefer, and find a recording that you absolutely love. And take note of the metronome markings for the various sections that performer uses. Also, if you have a flute teacher, I highly recommend asking your flute teacher for suggestions for metronome markings for the various sections of this piece. My second tip for this piece is to pay close attention to what I call the hidden melodies that Debussy embeds in this music. If we look at the first bar, Debussy gives us several hints as to what these important notes are. There are several ways that you can judge what is an important note within a bar or a phrase. The first of these is placement within the beat. Usually the first note of the beat will typically be the most important. The second way is to see if the note is the first note under a slur. That too will receive a little bit more importance than the rest of the notes. The third way is to see if the note is marked by a tenuto or any kind of an accent to bring attention to it. Let's dive in by looking at the very first bar. And let's take the approach of the first hint, placement at the beginning of a beat. In this bar, the B flat, the A flat, and the G flat all meet this criteria. Score 1 for all three notes. Let's take a look at the second hint. Are each of these notes, the B flat, the A flat, and the G flat, the first note under a slur? Again, the answer is yes. Score 2 for all three notes. Let's look at the third hint. Are these notes marked by a tenuto or any sort of accent? Here, the B flat and the A flat are marked by tenutos. The G flat is not, but we will forgive it. The G flat is still an important note, and all three, the B flat, A flat, and G flat, are extremely important notes in this bar. In fact, they are a part of a descending scale. Even more interesting. I like it. Let's keep that. This is part of the hidden melody in the first bar. Let's keep going. In bar 3, Debussy repeats this exact pattern from beat 1 again. But in bar 4, he decides to switch things up a bit. Again, keep in mind the hints that we just discussed, and look for notes at the beginnings of beats, at the beginnings of slurs, and set apart by accents or tenutos. In bar 4, we see the B flat at the beginning of beat 1, underneath a slur, the B natural on beat 2, also underneath a slur. On beat 3, we see the C, and on the and of beat 3, the D flat, that are not set apart by accents or tenutos, and they are not at the beginning of the slur. But they are still important notes because of their placement within the beat, and the fact that they continue this spicy little upward chromatic motion that Debussy introduces in this place to counterbalance the descending scale that he introduced in bars 1 and 3. Continue this investigation of the entire piece and take note of the discoveries that you find. Circle the notes that you find to be important according to these hints that we have discussed, or put an asterisk by them, anything to remind yourself that these notes are important and belong to the hidden melody, and bring them out whenever you play. Now, I keep talking about bring out these notes, emphasize these notes, and that's wonderful. But you may be thinking, how am I supposed to bring out these notes? How am I supposed to emphasize them and make them different from everything that's going on around them? Great question. One way that you can emphasize these notes is to speed up or slow down your vibrato on these notes, and then have a normal kind of vibrato that you use on the notes and everything else surrounding them, so that these notes will pop out a little bit as being important and standing out from the notes around them. The second way is to use faster air on these notes, and you can pair that with a little extra speed of vibrato to produce a shimmery sound that will also set apart these notes from everything that's going on around them. The third way, which is possibly my favorite, is to sing these notes without the flute. Take your flute down off your face and sing these notes. Doesn't matter if you're exactly on pitch, but pay close attention to how open your throat needs to be and how dropped your jaw needs to be and how open your oral cavity is when you are singing these notes. Then bring your flute back up to your face and try to reproduce the exact feeling that you had in your throat, your oral cavity, and your jaw when you were singing. And I think you'll be surprised at the difference that comes out of your flute. It should be shimmery, singing, open, and relaxed. Another concept to keep in mind as you practice this piece is the concept of tone color. Debussy was a master of writing music that requires a broad range of expression and tone colors, much like an impressionist painting. One of my favorite ways to experiment and practice tone colors is to start with vowel shapes. If you say, or better yet sing, certain vowels, such as ah, then you might go to e, o, u. And as you go through this list of vowels, say or sing them first, then bring your flute up to your face and form the embouchure that you need to play. But keep your jaw relaxed and dropped to the same extent as it was when you said or sang the vowel. Play a note, record yourself, and listen closely. Then go on to the next vowel and repeat the same exercise. As you go through this process, you will find that each vowel is associated with a different tone color, and the sound production that will arise from this activity will give you a much broader palette of tone colors to use according to your discretion. Keep in mind the emotional impact that each phrase of the music has on you, and keep in mind the emotional impact that you have listening to your sound as you use these different vowels to produce different tone colors, and use them to your advantage. Pair the tone color with the phrase as it matches the emotion. Last but not least, be familiar with the story that this piece is based on. If you are not familiar with the story of Pan and Syrinx, I strongly advise you to look it up. You can start by Googling it. This story is a tale of tragedy and loss, and I strongly encourage you as well to allow the story to inspire you and to influence the emotions that you convey as you play this music. However, if the story of Pan and Syrinx does not inspire you, do come up with your own story. It's still important to convey emotions in a way that is meaningful and authentic to you. In conclusion, practice this piece with a metronome. Understand the inherent improvisatory nature of the notated rhythms when played precisely as written. Secondly, find the hidden melodies and make them unhidden. Bring them to the forefront of your interpretation. Thirdly, Experiment with tone colors that naturally convey the emotions that Debussy tried to express in every line of this music. And fourthly, know the story. Let it inspire you and bring your interpretation and your performance to life. As you prepare for performances and as you play this piece throughout your life, understand what Debussy was trying to achieve in each phrase, in each line, and the emotions that he was trying to convey. Have fun with it. This is music. You've got this.